I got a question the other day. If I take ivermectin and fenbendazole, I don't. I would if that's all I had access to, which then made me realize that I haven't been telling you guys where to get any of the tools that I use. So I put a banner at the bottom of the ones that go live. Instagram isn't there, but I get my stuff on my website, pillarsofwellness.com. The reason that I don't take ivermectin and fenbendazole is because they're synthetics. And you never get full positives with synthetics. You never get a big benefit function out of synthetics. It's why I'm not a huge fan of telling everybody they should take methylene blue. There's other things to take. So what I normally will take is, let's back up on the parasitic thing just a second. When you look at parasitic function, there are between 300 and 400,000 different types of parasites that we see affecting people. And so the idea that one or two things is going to knock them all out, I don't find 100% functional either. Can you wipe out a big swath of your parasites? Yeah. With ivermectin and Fenben, you can. But again, you're putting highly synthetic things in the body that, I just, it's not my thing. So what I will use is I use HCl. So hydrochloric acid melts the biofilms, the sugary cocoons of mucus that the parasites build to keep your body away from detecting and killing them. So the HCl melts those biofilms. It also produces an acidic gut. And so it kills all the viruses, bacteria, and parasites and parasitic eggs that you eat, which is the point of having hydrochloric acid. So I take that. Allicin is basically garlic. It's the antibacterial, antiparasitic form enzyme that's in garlic, a nutrient that's in garlic. So I take a bunch of allicin. I take a little bit every day. The other reason I take the allicin is when we talk about arterial plaquing, one of the things that we see causing arterial plaquing is low-grade chronic bacterial infections, usually from the mouth, that are in your bloodstream. And so keeping those down is important. And I'm not going to ever take a medical antibiotic, so I take the natural ones. I take the allicin every day. Now, again, as we go through these, I'm this close to people who have viruses, bacteria, parasitic infections every single day. And so what I need is probably a little bit different than what you guys need on a daily basis. Like if you're a school teacher, you need all these things. If you're a salesperson, if you're out, like maybe you need this stuff. But if you guys are staying at home, working at home, you probably don't need all this stuff. But so I take HCl, I take allicin. I do 2 or 3 coffee enemas a week. I try to hit 3. But in my coffee enemas, I've got allicin, I have lysine, which is an antiviral. I have Parastat, Paratocin. So I have multiple different antiparasitics in the enemas that I do. And the reason I really do those is to help keep the blood, the lymph, the liver, the colon clean. I'm a giant coffee enema fan. If I haven't beat the drum enough on that, then I'll beat it again. The coffee enemas are by far the cheapest, fastest, best way to keep yourself healthy. People are always like, "Oh, I have to put it in my butt." Yeah, you do. Like quit making such a big sexual thing out of it, and just recognize that your body is designed to suck fluid out of your colon and take it directly to your liver. The fastest way, if you do a coffee enema versus you swallow something, you're going to get it to your liver a lot faster and in a lot better form rectally than you are ever going to be taking it orally. So do a couple coffee enemas. The RFA. So RFA stands for really effing awesome. That's why I named it that. Because it'll kill viruses, bacteria, it'll kill yeast, it'll kill parasites. Like just go to the website, go to the Pillars of Wellness website, type in RFA in the search, and just look at the back of the RFA. Look at what's in it. I mean, it's got clove oil, it's got ginger, it's got a bunch of different things in it that are, it's got oregano oil in it. It's got a lot of different things in it that we use to kill viruses, bacteria, stuff like that. Oregano oil is the #1 thing to kill strep, by the way. So if you get a strep, like if you get, oh no, my tonsils, my mouth, my throat's sore with strep, a couple drops of oregano oil in water, gargle it and swallow it. It's fantastic stuff. It's super fantastic. So that's probably one of the best ones we have for strep. So we've got that in there. So that's typically what I end up taking on a daily basis. Oh, I'll stick Wormwood. So then you can find the stuff we have, the Wormwood we use in the office is on the website, as is the coffee enema, the antiparasitic coffee enema kit that we have that I use is on the Pillars of Wellness website. You can tell the ones that we ship from the office because it has a really terrible picture that I took. Because those are the combinations we put together. The thing is that the downside to a lot of the stuff on the website is that I will use whatever the best products I can find are. And so some of those things we've kind of put together from various vendors. And so we have to ship them from the office. So if that's what you're wanting, we've got to ship it from the office. So upside downside of that. But that's how we put everything together. So I try really, really hard not to take anything synthetic or any pharmaceuticals. The two things I take on a more regular basis, we can argue about the testosterone. I would tell you that testosterone is natural in the ester form that I take it. The nandrolone and decanate that I take, the DECA that I take, I definitely will tell you is fully synthetic and is pharmaceutically made. So that's probably the one thing that I do that is not what I would say natural. But I buffer all the way around it, and I understand what's going on, and I know how to keep it where it's supposed to be. So that's kind of my stance on, should you take, Ivermectin and Fenbendazole on a maintenance function, all the time, just to kind of keep things away. I wouldn't. If you're like, oh my gosh, I've got I went somewhere and I picked something up, or I'm in Mexico and I feel like grab some ivermectin, like as a resource, oh no, I've got to do this thing. Yeah, knock it out. Like if you get malaria, 100% take it. Like it's great for malaria. But I wouldn't take it on a daily basis. You really want to kind of keep things going that is close to natural as possible. One of the things we get into, and I don't really talk about this very much because it's more than I think people care about. What you're actually looking for in your supplements isn't actually the chemistry. The chemistry helps us kind of put everything together, and it's a very matter of visual function for us. What you're actually going for is the quantum energy, the light energy that's in these nutrients. Everything that we have on the website, I have brought into the office. I have muscle tested. I have stress tap tested. The quantum signature of that, the resonant frequency of that is as high as we can find it. I have gone through several supplementations and supplement makers, varieties of things, and we will test them. And if they test on, we use them. If they don't test on, we find something else. So when I look at a supplement, it has to be the right chemical makeup. So if we're talking about MTFHR, issues, I want to see L-methyl tetrahydrofolate on the label. If we're talking about like COMT issues, I want to see hydroxycobalamin on there or adrenocobalamin on the label. But then we're going to muscle test it. We're going to be like, what's the quantum signature of this? And if it's not, the stuff we have now, I think is between 50 and 100 stress taps. If I find something that's higher than that, I will bring that in and put my label on it, and we will use that. So that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's the best stuff I can find. And I have people drop me stuff off literally twice a week, different supplement manufacturers and stuff like that. And we test it, and we'll call them back and be like, hey, sorry, but your stuff, your formulations don't work with us. And so that's kind of how we keep our stuff where it is. I realize that, I've been sitting here telling you guys all the great things and great stuff to use, but I haven't given you guys any opportunity or any place to get the tools. And part of the reason for that was that I didn't want to come on here and be, salesy and be like, listen to my information and buy my stuff, and my information is tied to my stuff. But I also realized that because I didn't do that, I left you guys a big gap of going out and buying, junk supplements from Walmart and from, Costco and stuff like that. And so I get that's apparently where I get to stand. I get to figure out, okay, I'm either going to tell you to buy my stuff because it's part of my protocols. I know it's good, or I'm going to give you the option of buying junk that's out there. So, I'm kind of caught between those two things. So I'll just kind of go ahead and tell you the stuff that I take, the stuff I give my family, the stuff I use in my protocols is all on my website. And so and the other fun things is that some of the stuff comes from the manufacturers. So if you order 8 things and they come in 2 different boxes from 2 different places or 3 different places, that's why. The reason we don't use warehouse function, we use manufacturer delivery function, is because I want this stuff super fresh. I don't want it sitting in a 110-degree warehouse for 2 weeks before anybody gets it, or 3 weeks or 6 months before it gets shipped out. So the guys we use make it and then put it in bottles, and they keep it in their facilities, and then they ship it out for us. So that's where this stuff comes from. That's where my stuff comes from. It's, the other reason that we put my label on it was we started doing a bunch of stuff. God, this is years ago, and we were working with a company called Purell. And Purell's great stuff. They make really good stuff. But we were muscle testing with somebody, and they weren't getting any better. And I was kind of like, maybe they're not taking their stuff. And so I asked them, I was like, are you taking this stuff? They said, every day. I take it every day. And I was like, well, bring it in. And they brought it in. It was Purell stuff, Purell labels, the whole 9 yards, but it tested off. And I was like, well, this is weird, because Purell does muscle testing, stuff like that. So you can, I could have called them and been like, hey, this stuff tests off, refund their money. And I was like, where'd you get this? And they were like, oh, I got it on Amazon. And I was like, oh, all right. Because I knew that Purell didn't use Amazon. And so I called Marshall, who was like the CEO of the company. And I was like, hey, Bob, are you guys selling on Amazon? And he was like, no, we're not. And we're actually fighting with Amazon to take any of our products off, because there's a bunch of synthetic stuff that, fake labels, fake supplements, fake product that's on Amazon that people are selling. So that's when we started creating our own line. And I was like, all right, that's it. I don't want any of this stuff. So I know, so if you didn't buy it from my office or from my website, I know that whatever you're taking that has my name, my label on it, isn't my stuff, because I wanted to make sure that we could quality control the products that we're using. And so that's why I did it the way we did it. And so if you're like, well, why did you come up with your own line? I needed to come up with my own line so that we'd make sure that we had quality control and the highest possible supplementation that everybody could get in one place. So that's why we use the stuff we use. It's where, if you get it, it's at pillarswellness.com. If you guys have any questions about what's there, what you need, or that type of thing, I'll start putting, different videos up and stuff like that. But one of the things, now I'll toss this one out. One of the things that we do with all of our diabetes patients, like we've had some people ask us, like, how can we do the diabetes thing distance? Yeah, you can. One of the major things about type 2 diabetes, and we'll go into this probably next week, is, we got to control your diet. Like 100%, we need to work on your diet. We need to get that cleaned up. And I would say about 30% of the population, if they just clean their diet up, their type 2 diabetes would go away. But there's about 40% of the population that their actual issue isn't necessarily 100% diet. It's that they have high inflammatory issues, high inflammation, which is definitely tied to diet. But one of the big things that we're seeing is that the high inflammation holds the insulin levels high. And so, if you'll do the kill and refill, kill your parasites, kill your yeast, feed your liver, feed your kidneys, feed your gut, so that it can do its job and detoxify, and we move a lot of this inflammation out, that'll allow your insulin levels to come down. And I would say probably, again, 30% of the population, if they just clean their body up, detox their body properly, their diabetes would go away, even, with a little bit higher glycemic diet. But there's probably a good 30-40% of the population that would require both dietary change, a little bit of exercise, and the detoxification, the kill and refill stuff. So when we do diabetes, that's how we do it. So we do a full gut detox and reset, so we'll kill the parasites, kill the yeast, restore the probiotics, and then we feed. So when you talk about detoxing organs, the way you do that is you wildly overfeed the liver and the kidneys with the nutrients they require to do the job they're going to do. So the supplements don't do the detoxing, the organs do the detoxing once they get fed the stuff they need. And so that's how we do that one. Flushes the body out, drops all this negative chemicals, all these parasites, all this inflammation, all these highly inflammatory chemicals, waste products come out, and then all of a sudden the body can kind of reset itself. And that's how we kind of put everything back together. So no matter what we're working on Lyme's, we're working on PTSD, we're working on depression, we're working on dementia or diabetes. We always start with a baseline kill and refill, because every single one of those things I just mentioned, and pretty much every single thing in health revolves around, are we getting the good chemicals in and are we getting the bad chemicals out? Once you get those two things resolved, your body can heal itself, because again, the power that made the body heals the body. No supplement, no drug, nothing else will. You just got to get out of the way, and so that the body can actually do the job it was designed to do. And once you kind of give it the nutrients and you take away the things that are keeping it from doing what it's supposed to do, it does great things. So that's how we start all of our stuff. And so if you're like, hey, I just want to, like, before I jump in and, go through the process and get all the testing done and do all this stuff, I just want to see if I can fix this at home. Fantastic. Get the kill and refill stuff. So get the coffee enema stuff. I'll put the whole kill and refill on the website, but that's what we've been using for pretty much everybody. And it's funny, as people start taking it and doing the whole thing, doing the coffee enemas, doing everything, we really do see significant drops in, anxiety and PTSD and ADD and ADHD and all sorts of, gut issues and stuff like that. So, as far as that goes, I would always tell you that that's a better path than taking any pharmaceuticals. I just have and maybe it's because maybe I'm a little bit biased, fine. But my goal is to keep as many pharmaceuticals out of my body as possible. And if I can get it done with natural means, which 99% of the time you can, if you do it at the right time, that's the way I'd go. So if you guys have any questions, just have questions@chalmerswellness.com. Check out the website, pillarsofwellness.com, if you guys have any supplement needs or supplement questions. And we can keep going from there. So I'll leave the banners up there from now on, so you guys at least see where to get some of this stuff. And if you guys have questions about anything, ask. Ask in a DM, ask in, one of these things, and we'll talk about it and we'll get everything moving. So thanks for your time. You guys have a fabulous and wonderful day.